Hello, brothers and sisters of the Briar. Professor Jeremiah here. Today kind of marks a little bit of a milestone for me. This is my 50th video since I first started posting 3 years ago. For some of you out there, that may not seem like a lot of videos, but I decided a while back that when I reached my 50th video, I wanted to do a special giveaway. And so I've kind of delayed just a little bit in posting this one and wanted to get it posted at the right time. Some of you, if you've seen some of my older videos, you would have seen this pipe before. This is my Bjorn Nelson grade B. This is my favorite pipe. This is the top of all of my pipes. I probably only smoke it once a week at most, sometimes maybe twice a week. And I only smoke one particular blend in it. And that's Country Estate. Sutliff's Country Estate isn't being made anymore, by the way. Now, if you've seen some other videos, I've talked about Black Cordial Z150 of Sutliff's bulk blend. Is the same thing. It's just not the tinned version. So this is that tinned version. It is a little bit better, but you don't notice that big of a difference. I probably am down to 5 tins of Country Estate, but when it comes to Black Cordial, now, that's a whole nother story, maybe 5 pounds. I was just lighting this, and maybe it'll catch here in a minute. So as I mentioned, I want to do a special giveaway. It's not going to be anything really fancy. I'm about or a little over 450 subscribers, and I wanted to see if we could go ahead and bump that up a little bit more. So what I wanted to ask you to do is, in order for you to participate in this giveaway, you need to be subscribed to my channel. You need to have also shot a previous video of you smoking your pipe. So if you've only shot a couple of videos or a video, you can be a part of this contest. And all I'm asking for is that you do a simple shout out for this channel. And for those of you who shout out, just let me know in the comments below that you've mentioned my channel on your channel, and give me the link to your channel so I can watch that. Maybe some of you, I've not even seen your channels before. You may be a new subscriber, so you can still subscribe. And we will do a random number generator for the person who wins this prize. And the prize is a brand new, my tamper's trying to run away here, a brand new Briary pipe. This is from the Briary in Birmingham, Alabama. This is unsmoked. It is a great pipe, but I have to say, it's a little bit of a heartbreaker giving this one away, because I specifically chose this for myself. But seeing now that I've had this pipe for probably about 6 months and haven't smoked it, I felt like it's time to pass it on to somebody else who can appreciate it. So it's a little difficult to part with, I will say, but hey, it's time to share this one. The contest will end on March the 11th. And on March the 12th, I will do the number generation for who the winner is. So you have roughly 1 week to shoot a video just mentioning, giving this channel a shout out. So for Professor Jeremiah. For those of you who watched my last video, I know the last two have been a little lengthy. I'll try to keep this one a little shorter. But I mentioned in that video about how I was hesitant at times in my mission work in going to remote villages and showing live action films. And I actually at times when I went out, I would just show cartoons or claymation films and sharing the gospel story. And I said that a part of that's because when you're dealing with people in remote locations, they oftentimes don't differentiate the actors from real life. So, example, you're showing a Jesus film and they're thinking this actor is Jesus and that what they're seeing is real. And this all came to realization when I was living in Nigeria. In my first year when I had returned there, I had lived there in the 90s, but when I returned there in 2007, for the first couple of years, in our house in the city, my coworker and I had a Nigerian man who was living there as well in one of the rooms. And he had his master's degree, so he was somewhat educated. He had lived in the city his whole life, grown up watching television. Well, every evening when we would sit down to eat dinner, we would normally watch a TV show or a little movie. And so we were working through the Sherlock Holmes series, which came out in the 80s and 90s with Jeremy Barrett, I believe. Really one of the better and probably the best Sherlock Holmes for me. And so one night as we're watching this Sherlock Holmes, he says, "This is great. This is fantastic. It's so great that they could have these cameras following him around, documenting how he solved cases." And I remember thinking, what? And we paused the film. I said, "What are you saying?" He's thinking that this is like an episode of Cops, only they're following Sherlock Holmes around. It was great. And so as we watched that a little bit further, I kept trying to explain to him that this is just acting. And for some of you, and I realize a lot in the YouTube pipe community won't necessarily be familiar with this, but one evening we were watching the movie Born Free. And at one point during the movie, when lions are outside of the tent that the Andersons are staying in, he's like, "This is great. It's great that the cameras would be there to catch this." And I had to pause it again and explain, this is a movie. This is not real life. And it was as if I was talking to a brick wall. He wanted to believe that this was real life. So I share that a little bit to say sometimes when I hear people giving reference to what people in foreign countries say and are believing, you have to understand sometimes the mindset of that person in a foreign country. There's no differentiating really what is real and what is a movie. I wonder at times, what do they think of something like Lord of the Rings when they see some of these really wild movies? What are they thinking about? When I lived in Brazil, and you have to pardon me, I don't remember the actor, somebody in the village, I lived in a Mayan Indian village, and then somebody in the village was showing movies on a weekly basis. And one day, one of the young men of the village came and was trying to get me to explain to him how it was that, let's just say Chuck Norris, how he could be in this movie when he died in the movie that they watched a few weeks back. And that's difficult to explain to somebody in a very remote setting. But as I say, for the roommate that we had, for somebody who had their master's degree, you really didn't expect that. But as I talked and questioned other Nigerians, and this isn't picking on Nigerians, that's why I even share the Belize story. I found it to be the case in a lot of settings. But just kind of humorous. I always thought that was amazing. That how could somebody not understand, and especially having grown up around movies and television shows. Well, if anybody's watched all 50 of my videos, you really need a special prize. And I thank you for that. I thank y'all for the thumbs up, for the likes on the videos, and for all of you who have subscribed. I really I've kind of been surprised to see that I went over 450, and to see that that number continues to grow. I think just having two or three new subscribers this past week, I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to keep shooting more videos. I know oftentimes we say I'm going to keep shooting more videos, and I do try in the free time. And we'll say in these 3 years that I've been a part of the community, I've seen people come and go. And I'm thankful to those of you who have stuck in, who continue to shoot videos. And I enjoy watching your videos. Well, brothers and sisters, I hope you have a good weekend, and God bless.